Hello, Steve White, Steve White 39. Godzilla versus King Kong. I haven't seen it yet. I won't be seeing it in the cinema. I don't know if I want to see it on a smaller screen. I saw the other Godzilla and King Kong movies on the big screen. I can't imagine watching it on a small screen. But I don't have a lot of options as I'm stuck in the Corona zone because Victoria in Australia is behind in its vaccinations, and even though I qualify for the second tier, I haven't been able to no one's even we haven't even gotten past, we haven't even got through the first tier of people. We can't even think about second tier people. So it's going to be a long time till I get vaccinated. So I'm going to be home for a whole lot longer. So Kong's going to be over by then. Godzilla vs. Kong's going to be over by then. So I don't know if I'm going to watch it or not. But it's getting downvoted a lot. And it's getting downvoted apparently by Snyderverse fans, because the Snyderverse fans want the Snyderverse to continue. I personally think it should. I don't see why they wouldn't just finish it off, do all the films that were planned, and then move on to the next thing, instead of cutting short like they've just spent all 70 million, 100 million to finish off the Snyder Cut, put it out. It's getting big views. It crashed HBO. It's getting a lot of views. Like, it's funny because the Geeks and Gamers crew are all trashing the film and saying nobody cares, no one's watching it, it was a failure, it did less views than Wonder Woman 1984. The other people are basically saying it's really doing really well, it's made a lot of money, it's also been sold internationally and all this sort of stuff. So you can sort of see the agenda that the Phantom Menace and the Geeks and Gamers, the extreme right sort of people have against the film and Snyder. And I wondered, was that deliberate? Because Snyder, I think he wants to make the Snyderverse, but he doesn't want the association of, oh, it's just toxic fans that got your film made, basically. I think he deliberately tried to alienate the Geeks and Gamers, far right, extreme right, faction of the Phantom Menace. Because not all the Phantom Menace people are extreme right and all that. A lot of them are, but a lot of them aren't. And I think he did that deliberately because he wanted to alienate them and turn them on him, so to show that there's still the numbers, even without those people that I've now I've belittled basically and said they're basically what they are, which is hate groups and racists. And now they're all hating me and trashing me and downvoting me. But let's just see what the numbers are without them. Because without them, if we've got good numbers from good fans, maybe they're more likely to invest in it than to invest in the idea of indulging toxic fans, which was the narrative before he turned on Geeks and Gamers and the Phantom Menace crowd and the toxic fans. Because like I said, they're not all toxic. Some of them really are, but not all of them are. I like some of them. I watch some of them, even though I'm not sure about some of them, because they're entertaining and they do a lot of research and they put a lot of work into their videos, and you get a lot of information from some of them. I do like them, but I'm not sure. I think some of them have been radicalized without them even knowing they have. So it's all very interesting. But so apparently they're all downvoting Kong because it's a Warner Brothers movie, and they're trying to basically say, much like with Gina Carano and Star Wars, everything Star Wars has released, or Disney has released, I think, except for the preview for The Bad Batch, have been massively downvoted and trashed, and there's a hate campaign basically out. So whenever they release a video, it gets downvoted and people make comments about Gina Carano, which is clearly nothing to do with the content and what's being released, and just makes them look like the toxic fans and trolls they're accused of being. So I don't know what they're achieving with it. They're trying to bully a studio into doing what they want. It's not going to work. I'm fairly sure the people at the top of the studio are so rich they don't actually have to care about if the studio makes money, and they're going to push their agenda and what they believe is the right direction to go in, regardless of what fans say or do. Now, Disney has to deal with Lucasfilm. There's two factions disagreeing there. Warner Brothers has to deal with AT&T, who basically just care about money. I think they're an energy supplier, so they just care about money. That's why the Snyder Cut happened, because they said, well, people want it, maybe we'll make money, let's make it. Even though politically, Warner Brothers just refused to do it, but they got, they're literally owned by AT&T, so it happened. So that's why a lot of fans are thinking, if we can show support, we'll get more Snyderverse. And I think, like I said, they should finish all the films he planned to do. Just let the Snyderverse exist, be totally explored, fulfilled, then put it down and move on to the next thing. But don't try and switch to the next thing in the middle and cut it short, because you're just going to piss off the people that you just re-engaged, and people are not going to be welcoming of the direction you're going in because they see it as taking away from what they want to see. It doesn't seem that smart to work, this hard to work that out. I don't see how people who are supposedly so smart in business can get things so wrong. I was listening to Robert Meyer Burnett, didn't give him any views or anything, but I still managed to listen somehow. He was talking about this and talking about how studio executives are just business people. They really have no idea of art, talent, popularity, what will work, what won't work. It's just a crap shop with them, and they're all about the money and gambling and business. So I can kind of understand how this is happening, but one thing it's led to, and I'm talking about a bunch of things in one video here, one thing it's led to is that YouTube, because all these videos are being downvoted, which hurts the videos, and it is clearly a hate campaign on behalf of the Toxic fans and the Gina Carano fans, who are pretty much the same thing. And no, I don't think Gina Carano is actually transphobic or specifically said anything anti-Semitic, but she fed into that. And when it should have became obvious to her that what she was saying was being used for the wrong side, and she was feeding into that, she didn't stand up, denounce that. She kept defending it, sort of on the side, but she kept doing it. So that's my issue with her, just to make that clear. Because a lot of people are saying she did nothing wrong. I'm like, well, she kind of was stupid and then doubled down on the stupid when she should have realised how the stupid was being exploited by bad people. She may not be bad, but she didn't stop bad people from exploiting herself. So I have issues with that, whether that's a lack of media savvy or something deeper. I'm not sure. I don't know her. I'm not her. But one of the things that's happened now is, to counter all of this, YouTube apparently just randomly, not because Disney or anyone approached them, has turned around and they're experimenting with different displays. So you can choose not to display your dislikes. So you can just choose your likes, so people can see how many people like your video, and not see, much like you can turn your comments off, now you can turn your dislikes off, is what they're experimenting with. The idea, and that will totally destroy hate bombing, because if no one can see the dislikes, all they're going to see is your views coming to the channel to make a comment. And if they cut off the comments, you got no power, you can't do anything. All you're doing is adding to the views. So two things will happen. One, a lot of these videos that get a lot of views, which are hate views, they're going to go away because these people aren't going to tune in to comment on something if they can't comment on it, or downlike something if they can't downlike it. So they're not going to watch in the first place, so the views are going to go down. But all you will get is views and likes and no negative dislikes or negative comments. And I can understand on one level why people do this, but it disgusts me. Like, I have a few haters. I have some trolls. They are constantly messaging me, and for the most part, I just say, I'm not speaking to you. You've shown you're a troll. I've given you a chance. You've shown you're a troll, and I just will give them a full stop, just so the comment goes out of the comment section, because if you don't respond, it keeps coming up. I'll do that. And most of them went away. Like, I stopped feeding the trolls, most of them went away, but I still have one or two. And the bad ones, they come up on every video and comment on every video, everything, because it wasn't about the video, it was just about attacking you. I've had a couple of them. I've got one guy who insists that I've been recruited by Steve Bannon and I'm right-wing extremist, just like Mecha Random, and I'm not saying she is, but he was saying like Mecha Random and Doomcock and Jeremy and all those people, I'm one of them. And I'm like, no, I'm not. But so there are those insane people out there. But I don't know how I feel about it totally, because when I see a news article or a video and people turn their comments off, all I think of is gutless. Absolutely gutless. If you can't take the criticism, if you don't want the conversation, you shouldn't make the video. You don't get to have an opinion and to speak. You don't get to exert your free speech and not allow people to react to it or to have consequences. So I don't like when people switch off their comments, and I'm not sure how I feel about people switching off the dislikes. But then I look at situations like the Oscar video Kathleen Kennedy did, where it just got totally downvoted and trashed, not because she did anything wrong, not because it wasn't a good video, but because people hated her for firing Gina Carano. And there were all these comments about Gina Carano, like apparently the number one quote was, why try and destroy my life with a lie when I can destroy yours with like the truth, or something like that, which is kind of rubbish. But I'm not on Gina's side with this, not really. She had a chance to apologise, acknowledge that what she was putting out was being misused, but instead she doubled down on, this is what I meant, so it doesn't matter how it was used. And I'm like, no, you can't put something out on a platform and, feed the trolls and the haters and the racists, and then sort of stand back and go, I've got nothing to do with those people, I'm just feeding them so they're nice and healthy, they can go out into the world and, cause havoc. But yeah, I'm going to stop ranting about Gina. So I found all that very interesting. I'm not totally opposed to the idea of people being able to switch off the views and dislikes and all that sort of stuff. I think you should have more freedom as a YouTube creator in what you want to display and how you want to present your work. But I do think it's a bit gutless if you sort of, stop people from criticising. Although if people are deliberately criticising you as a targeted hate campaign, I kind of understand and can't blame them. So I don't know, it will be interesting to see how that goes. If they implement it, how people use it, what effect it has on the views, and what are people going to do if they can't hate bomb something? What are they going to do? Like Rotten Tomatoes did the same thing. They altered things so that you couldn't dislike and you couldn't hate things. And that really was a problem for some people. But that's a whole other video. I'm not going to get into that. I'm just going to go because my mouth is dry and I've been rambling for 11 minutes. Bye.